So, good evening, all of you, and welcome to Circle of Peaceful Progress. And we have been doing these sessions, especially for chakras in our body. And earlier, if you recall, we had tried to understand how to remember our face chakras. You recall, we had done that exercise over two programs because giving you easier reasons to remember the chakras. So today, the focus is going to be on joints, the joints of our body. There are so many joints we don't realize. The easiest ones that we think of instantly, firstly, is the knees or maybe the elbows and wrists. Yeah. So that comes instantly. Knees, I think, is the first one that everybody thinks about. But we have not realized that how our skeletal system, the way it connects one part of the body to the next, is responsible metaphysically also, energetically also, for so many thoughts, feelings, emotions to be stored in various points, and we have to understand them, dissect them literally, to see what it means for us. Okay? So let's start first by, today I'm going to ask you to have a bit of physical activity also. So right now you're all sitting, right? Comfortable. Is your neck comfortable or are you holding it straight? Ask yourself. Did you do it when I told you to? Did you kind of shuttle your neck up, right? Maybe put it in a way that it looks straight. Now that movement that you caused is because a joint made that action happen. So try imagining a balloon, okay? And in that balloon is attached not to a string, but to a little stick. We look at it like that. So now you have the balloon, and what do we say? That first chakra is the spine, the top one, which is called VC1. What is it called? Does anybody know what VC1 is without looking at the book? Anyone? Okay, never mind. That is horizon expansion chakra. Now you made the movement, you were sitting like this and suddenly you moved up. What did you do? झुकना नहीं है. किसी के सामने सर झुकाने की जरूरत नहीं है. You don't have to bend yourself in front of anybody except when it is for accepting grace from the other person. That means if they are blessing you, fine, you bend your head down. Otherwise, when you put your head up, if you turn left, you turn right, you look straight, what is happening? There is a flexibility because you are expanding your horizon instead of looking straight. Now, when you're looking totally straight, even if you've known to hold your head up from that point and brought it straight, the first chakra of the joint I'm talking, right? What happened? You caused a little bit of alignment in yourself, a body alignment. We don't realize it, but we caused a body alignment. We held ourselves straight. And then, if I ask you to enjoy something in life or feel the bliss, what do? You spread out your arms and you look up, don't you? What are you doing? You're expanding your whole universe for all the blessings that should be coming in. So, How to remember it? Jhukne ka nahi. Not bending your head when it is not needed. And what are the points that come with it? What is it that gets associated with it? So I've written a few. It says, learn to open up. Okay? Learn to open up. Of course, I've already said, expand your horizons. You have to learn to hold your head high. Doesn't that give you a sense of confidence? Can you all hear, even though some of you are not on camera? Please hold your head high and see how it feels. Give me a reaction. Let me know how it feels when you're holding your head high. What is the feeling that comes inside you?
Confident.
Confident. Okay. What else?
Awesome.
Awesome. Okay. Anybody else? What is the feeling that you get when you really hold your head high? And that holding your head high, remember, is not in arrogance. It is your own self-pride, self-worth, expanding feeling. Yes, that's exactly. Because it is the expansion chakra. Okay? So what else do you... I'd like to make it interactive because this is a very interesting topic. Supporting self. Okay, I'll just read.
Self-respect.
Self-respect. Yes. So you see, body language. When we say look at the other person's body language, what does it mean? Even if you're wearing or looking the simplest in terms of fashion, okay? I am saying just very simple. And you're walking, but your head is held high. There is no reason a person will not look at you because your energy is showing. Your energy is speaking to the world at that time. It doesn't matter who you are, what you are, whether you are in the limited sense of beauty or your own disbeliefs, which have caused you a lot of misunderstandings, or the other person will think twice before commenting on you because you are holding yourself high. You are in command and control of what you wish to have around you. Okay? So think of it as jhukna nahi, holding the head high. Right? So again, as I reiterate, holding the head high is something which will make you feel a lot more better about yourself. So once again, if you are having a tendency to go down like this, just hold yourself up and see how it feels. Feel that energy. And that is what is supposed to be part of you. Never put your head down. Don't punish yourself. In school, what used to happen? When the teacher used to scold you, your head went down immediately. Didn't it? Or even not only teachers, I mean any elder for that matter, or if you have done something wrong, again your head would go down. And because what are you doing? You're punishing yourself first instead of having the courage to face the person to say, okay, tell me where I'm wrong, or tell me what, we can talk about it. There could be so many other ways of projecting it. But the moment between two people, if you put your head down, you have allowed the other person to punish you. You have allowed the other person to feel that he's superior because you do not value yourself and your self-worth. So hold your head high. Correct? That is what it is. And then it also can speak of, what do you call it? Self-imposed boundaries. How? Suppose your head is, okay, straight. But as I said, look left, look right, look straight, look up. All these are talking about your flexibility. But if you have a very rigid stance, rigidity, and you're not flexible, then you will see that you will really have a problem trying to move your head or connect with anybody who appears very rigid. Again, your body language speaks to you. So that is the VC1 is the first one, the first joint which tells you, holds your head completely and allows that flexibility of movement which you are responsible for, right? So if there is rigidity, there would be stagnation, because that means you're only following a certain set of rules, a certain set of beliefs, a certain set of ideas. Your social conditioning is such that you think that is the path that I have to follow, like a horse wearing blinkers. So you're not going to look at the world. You're not going to expand your horizon. You're not going to expand your world. And that is not needed. Geeta, you had your hand up. I'm sorry that I was talking. Anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, actually, you said about it. Just to add on,
Yeah,
if you have self-love and self-respect, that makes the other person also comfortable. Yeah,
exactly. Very true. So if
yes.
you have self-love, self-respect, and basically self-belief also. So you're holding your head straight doesn't mean you're arrogant, because there will be warmth in your eyes. Your eyes are the mirror of your soul, as I have said every time. So if there's warmth there, the other person will feel comfortable to talk to you, right? So what is the affirmation that you should have for this? I transform and transcend my perception of the world. If you want to write it down, I transform and transcend my perception of the world, and I enhance my consciousness beyond my limited perceptions. I enhance my consciousness beyond my limited perceptions. Yeah.
Can you write in the chat this information?
Apurva, may you do the honors, please? Thank you. Thank you. So you can have this, but every time now you'll know that VC1 is expanding your horizon. It'll come automatically to you, right? But then there's another one. VC1 cannot operate because that is just the tip of the spine at the top. It cannot operate without having the support, literally, of VC2. And what is VC2? VC2 is the axis chakra. So like I talked of the balloon on a stick. So if the stick is straight, the balloon can also stay like that. But if the stick is broken, your balloon will also go here and there. I'm not talking of a rope. So just to give you a visual memory of it. So that is where your axis starts, right from the top, going down to the bottom. So what does it mean? That means that you have to remain aligned, completely aligned on your axis in life. Now we talk of alignment in the metaphysical world, and even with Redikall, that align yourself to your chakras, align yourself to your life plan, align yourself to those thoughts, feelings, and emotions that work for you. But these don't work separately, they work together. So imagine right now, all of you may be slouching a little. Would you like to just straighten up and tell me how it feels? Straighten your back, the upper part of your back. I'm not going to the lower right now. And how does it feel? Back. You've held your head straight. Now I'm talking of your back. Upper back. How does it feel? Anyone?
Ma'am, good support system.
Ma'am, in command.
In command. Okay. Anybody else? Anything else? Let's make it interactive. Anything else?
I
Confident.
feel
Yeah, Shweta?
Confident.
Confident. Excellent. Anybody
Actually,
else?
when there is alignment, when you sit straight with your head high, your root chakra is aligned with the crown chakra, means absolutely you feel that alignment and you can, what do you say, get the message proper.
Absolutely. Very good. So the point is, when we do our meditation or we are doing even radical meditation or any other form of meditation, and when we are told, close your eyes, align yourself, connect to your higher consciousness, invoke your masters, gurus, guides. So what are we doing? We means all of us. We are just allowing ourselves to be so aligned. It doesn't mean becoming stiff, but just aligned so that the flow can happen. Whatever has to enter you from the crown chakra with the guidance of your higher consciousness, your supreme consciousness, the prime resource energy, the light, the white light, the crystal, whatever you believe in, if everything has to enter, it needs a passage. So when your head is held straight and your body, in your head, the neck is held straight. So there is place for it to go down further where it is supposed to, isn't it? So what do we talk about? Remain aligned to your axis. And because you remain aligned to your axis, that is the start over here, and you're aligned, that aligns you to your core. Okay? So to remember it, the easiest thing is remember the first one, expanding the horizon. Remember the stick of the balloon, axis chakra, need to have it so straight without it being rigid, and aligning to the axis, aligning to our core. And what is that core? What core am I talking of? That core is your values, your roots, your culture, your family, your profession, maybe your money, right? Alignment, not hoarding, okay? Maybe to your lineage, it could be anything. When you, and your values, as I said earlier. So when you are learning to align to your values and the core helps you, there is no reason that healing should not take place. There is no reason that you will not start feeling comfortable. The thing is, we have got so used to entangling ourselves. That is why all the yoga experts and everybody who's into fitness will keep telling you, sit straight. In school, your teacher told you, sit straight. But did we? We would slouch on the bed like this. We would sit with our hands like this. So, and then what were we doing? Maybe our attention would also get diverted. I don't know. But at least in my time, it used to get totally diverted because you're sitting there and you're drawing away something different and the teacher is talking. And then you say the teacher is useless because we don't understand what she's saying. This used to happen. But when we are aligned to all the cores that we hold, absolutely valuable to ourselves, essential to ourselves, there is no reason that healing will not take place. So sometimes when we are in the process of healing and we say that, we notice the same pattern of a particular emotion, whether it's anger or frustration or helplessness, etc., keeps coming back to us and we keep questioning. We have a lot of students who come in open house and they ask this question again and again. So that what is the basic thought that will go in my mind as a mentor? She's not aligned. Simple. So when she's not aligned, I need to tell her, okay, first you need to get aligned. And what does that alignment mean? Because if she doesn't understand the concept of alignment, it's not just energetically, physically also you need to get everything aligned. So, because when you are misaligned, I forgot to say this. When you are misaligned, There are reasons for you to maybe be judgmental. There'll be reasons for you to have expectations from others, right? Just imagine if you are misaligned, not aligned, what all will you go through? A lot of commotion of emotions. Wow, that's a nice one. Commotion of emotions. So you will go through that. So why allow that? Let's focus. Let's try to understand what the axis is trying to. So let's say the axis and the expansion horizon, they work together. I'm not going in the deeper details of all the back chakras, because then of course continuity of alignment happens when you're sitting straight. All right. So what is the statement that you can have for this? It is, with soul's love, I expand my horizons and remain aligned. With soul's love, I expand my horizons and remain aligned. Okay. Apurva, maybe you'll have to write it in the group. Yeah. All right. So there's something in the chat. Let me just check. All right. So that happens till there. Now, we moved down the spine and we came to a point which is near our waist. Now I'm talking of the spine, okay? Somewhere near our waist. What happens there? What is the misalignment that can happen there? Think about it. We've talked of the head moving this side, that side, up, down, right? If it is down, that means we are punishing ourselves and we are guilty, or we are accusing ourselves, and absolutely making ourselves feel that we are not worth it. And the axis we've talked about, so that yes, we remain focused, we remain aligned to the core values. We've moved down, the alignment is happening, and suddenly, somewhere near the middle of the waist and the back. Don't you have a lot of back problems, all of you? All of us have it, right? So again, I ask you to sit straight. Try to get your back straight also. Now, got your back straight? How does it feel? You've got your back straight. But instead of me asking you now, again, it brings us back to the point. This is the point level, which tells you, don't be a beggar. Because you go and you bend down. Have you seen the beggars? They doubly bend and they try to ask you when they're wanting, except again, as I said, if it is a blessing or something else that is being offered to you as an honor. Then out of sheer humility, you may do it. But otherwise, the moment, haven't you seen, mostly it used to happen in, we saw it in cinema, in Hindi cinema, and in the government offices, all the juniors, when they entered the seniors' room, they would come like this, with the file in their hand. At least I've seen a lot of it. So they would sort of be like this. Now, what have they done? They've sort of closed themselves here. The body is closed and they're bent. Why? Are you servants? Are you, working for somebody personally who's the master and you are the, again, servant? The only place where you can really be like that is with your higher consciousness, your supreme consciousness, and maybe the place of worship wherever you go, where you are bowing down to receive the blessing. But otherwise, try to remember that you do not have to be a beggar. Why? Because the good part is to receive with grace and respect and honor. That is fine, as I just said. But otherwise, not as a begging, because where is this coming from? If there is a tendency, now look around, think of people in your life. Are you reminded of others who you have met who behave like that? Do you know of people, or have you seen people who have this tendency to talk like this? What is the feeling you get when you meet somebody who talks to you like this? I'm not talking of honor and grace. When the other person comes to you, ki, madam, sir, something, what is the feeling that you get?
That person is trying to convince me.
Okay, that's one. Do you need to be like that to convince? No, no. That is one point. Thank you, Geeta. Anybody else?
Submissive, ma'am, submissive.
Wanting to show that I'm submissive. Or, as you said, submissive. I'll pick up this point. Where is this submissiveness coming from? Is it ancestral? Is it coming from your lineage? Is it coming from, as rightly said, Soni, right? Rishipal, yeah. That is it coming from a place of feeling inferior? Now think about it. Think of all the not so good things that are associated. How would you treat such a person? The tendency is to feel, I am the Lord, I am the master, because I have control over him. Really? Do you have control? But your perception based on his behavior will bring out your arrogance and your wrong sense of pride and other associations which are inside you, which are not healthy. So, when you look at somebody doing that, you may also laugh that, okay, I'm so superior, I'm so good. But what are you doing if you are also doing the same thing? Check. Is it coming from feeling inferior, as somebody said? And as you said, submissive. Is it coming from a space of being used to, in your ancestral lineage or at home or conditioning? Is it coming from there? Or is it something you have adopted as a style so that you can get better benefits from your bosses or seniors or parents or whoever it may be? No, you can become the laughing stock. Because again, remember, body language speaks. Now, these are the speaking moments of the body language. And you don't need it. And when you don't need it, what you need is to be absolute. You can still come into your boss's room and say, sir, here's your file. Instead of, may I come in, sir? Movies mein dikhate the na, aise darwaza khola, jhuk ke, may I come in, sir? Why? It's not like you're going to a king, or even in front of kings. People, subjects used to do that. Bending when he's entering, that was a sign of respect. That's okay. But beyond that, do you need it? No, you don't. And in today's times, with your learnings, with all that you're learning to become aware of, do you need it? No, you don't. So you're healing again, because you're putting so much burden by the process of bowing down for begging, not for respect. So what will you do? Again, there'll be misalignment. And when there's misalignment, there's bound to be stress there. And when there's stress there, you're bound to say that I'm having a back problem or other baggages that you're carrying over there over time. Because when you straighten up after that, it hurts. And then you'll put your hand at your back and say, it hurts, and you'll start massaging it, isn't it? Now, I'm telling you very simple techniques to remember how to deal with your body when you have these little backaches or little problems. Check. Have I allowed myself to be lower than something else? Is my self-esteem low? Is my self-belief low? Is my self-pride low? Am I not aligned? Because healing, let me tell you once again, is not just about mentors healing you. Healing is about knowing your own body. And how do you know your own body? Your body talks to you. We say it all the time, isn't it? And how does it talk? This is the way it's talking to you. And thanks to Redikall, which has defined every chakra for us, we know exactly which point and which joint is trying to tell us what. We're really blessed that we have all the affirmations, everything in our command, that we can decide and say, okay, this is what I need to do. And do that and see how it feels. Because a lot of us will all the time, like a lot of homemakers, they are working constantly in the house. Bending, doing this, doing that, climbing upstairs, etc., whatever. And then they'll say, ki kamar mein bahut dard ho rahi hai. Hogi. Maybe they have the sort of benefit कि नीचे बैठ के पोंछा उस तक झुक के पोंछा ना लगाने की बजाय you can do it with that, but नहीं करेंगे. That's a belief कि मतलब उससे अच्छा नहीं होगा, यही तरीका अच्छा है. So what are you doing? You're damaging your body, even in this simple thing. So there are so many things that we need to take care of. And what do you need to do for this? Stand tall, but receive always with humility and grace. Learn to stand tall. Hold your head high. Hold your neck straight. Keep your spine aligned, but stand tall. Even while sitting, you would have seen speakers when they talk on, you see them on, well, now on Zoom or on TV, etc. Have you ever seen them slouching like this? No, they would be naturally sitting very straight. Jab baad mein jaake ghar mein dard ho aur balm lagaye, because they're not used to it. But they are told specifically, sit straight. The news readers, the people who are, talking to the world, you will always see them aligned. And the people who don't look aligned, you don't enjoy their programs also. As simple as that. So again, we are talking of the physical alignment today to get our energetic and consciousness aligned also along the same lines. Okay. So what would you say? As I said, don't be a beggar. So this will tell you not to be a beggar. This is VL2. VL2. It's alignment and gracious receiving. Yes, Renu?
Arati, see, we have seen certain people, mostly women, okay,
Yeah.
after pause, they start slouching.
Yeah.
So, where do we, how do we?
So I was talking about the top two chakras, the VC1 and VC2. If we keep that straight, if we allow ourselves to keep that straight, what happens? The 3, 4, 5 now naturally start getting aligned. Then we come to this point where we are bending again, because we are not bending. If you notice, even if now, you can try it out, all of you. If you bend, you will be bending from your kamar right now. So if you do that, then all this will naturally slouch. But if you sit straight, it will not slouch. So that slouching comes from this VC, what is it? VL2 and then next VL3. Usko straight rakhenge, neck ko straight rakhenge, there's no reason that a person will slouch like this. Okay.
So when such cases we see, then we have to work with these, the lower two and the upper three.
Yeah. And one more, I'm telling you now, the last one. Why I'm not talking of all, as I said, because like you have, from point A to point B, if you put a thread through, so it is straight, right? but I don't have to go from point A, from point A to point Z. But in between B, C, D, E, F, जाने की जरूरत नहीं है because you have already pulled it to make it straight. So that's why, Renu, we can work with the VC1, VC2, VL2, VL3, and then right now I'm talking of VL2. So you can take the statement, I graciously align myself to receive from the channel of resources. Now the resource could be anything. It could be, as we said, your roots. Earlier we said your culture, your family, your lineage, your profession. It could be anything, right? So I graciously receive, I beg your pardon, I graciously align myself to receive from the channel of resources. Then we come to the VL3, which is known as guardianship chakra. So if you notice at every point I've taken two, VC1, VC2, move down, VL2, VL3. Why? VL2 is the one, the process of don't be a beggar. But below that is the guardianship chakra, which maybe is the one which says, don't go there, come back. Literally, like reining in a horse and bringing you back. So that's the guardianship chakra, that is VL3. So what does it do, guardianship chakra? Think of it as reining in, not allowing VL2 to beg. Chukne ka nahi, again, right? So what does it do? It teaches you to remain in charge. When you are in a guardianship, it's like the security guy, who's जैसे चौकीदार होते थे. In the night, they would go around with a stick. And in the earlier times, and he would have a whistle and a stick, and he would go around. So you felt protected that somebody is there to take care of you, right? So this VL3 is that chowkidar. It is telling the VL2, don't be a beggar. As simple. Okay. So what would you do? It says remain in charge. Be the custodian, but do not try to be the owner. Remember, this is very critical. We have a tendency that we think that whatever we have around us, we own it. The moment you say you're owning it, it comes from a place of ego, pride, and, well, a lot of maybe selfishness also. So that ego is the thing that makes you own everything around. You don't own anything. You are the custodian in your life for everything that is happening. Your children, you don't own them. You are their custodian. Your relationships, your family, your work, everything. You only own one thing, and that is yourself. So to own that and to align that, you need to be a custodian of everything around you. Okay? So just remember, this is VL3, which is guardianship chakra. I'm sure you'll remember it now forever. So there is a statement for that. With soul's love, I take charge of all that belongs to me. With soul's love, I take charge of all that belongs to me. Where is this chakra? I'm talking, these are the chakras on the spine. Who asked me the question?
Ma'am, I asked you. Is it
Nisha.
just, yes, ma'am.
Back. I'm talking
Yes,
about the back.
ma'am. Is it in the lower back? Just
Yes.
below the, okay.
You know where your waist is? Just below the
Yes.
waist. Just below the
Okay.
waist. Okay?
Okay.
So there are two
Okay.
chakras, two, let's say, joints over there. So these two joints
Yeah.
have chakras. So that is what I'm talking. Okay?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Bella, you
Thank
have a
you.
question? Bella?
you were talking about slouching and bending. As a kid, I still remember I was like that. And now my body has become like this, that my shoulders are inwards. If I try to push it back, my back pain still. I have improved my posture a lot, but still it is not that straight and my back hurts.
So I would recommend you get in touch with Renu Sharma later, privately. She's a fantastic yoga teacher. She may give you some tips and guidance separately. Okay? So that's one thing you can do. Please share the recitation in writing. Again. Okay, Bill. Apurva, if you can do the honors again. So this is with Soul Slab. I take charge of all that belongs to me. All right? Then I come in the spine. I come to the last one, which I say is the Z. I started with A. I'm ending with Z. Now this is VCC1. That is the last chakra at the absolute base, the coccyx. Right? It's right there. Now, have you noticed that when you are just sitting and just sitting, not right now, but otherwise, think of yourself just sitting and wasting time, sitting and doing nothing, sitting and feeling depressed, sitting and thinking, well, life is passing on, not in an active mode. So what are you doing? You're just stagnating. You are just stuck. You are not able to energetically move yourself to get up and do something. Right? Have you ever noticed that if somebody is very annoyed, even children for that matter, you tell them get up, they won't get up, they're angry or they're disturbed. So you try to pull them up, they put pressure on themselves and they don't move. Right? What chakra are they using? They are pushing their coccyx down further, deeper into the sofa, and they're not getting up. So this chakra is the most important one, because remember the root chakra is also just next to the coccyx. But this VCC1 is a reminder that keep walking. When I say walking, it doesn't mean just physically. It means just take charge of everything around you. Make sure that your movements are happening. Make sure that you are agile. Make sure that you're not stuck. Make sure you're not stagnating. Make sure you're not depressed. There's so many things that you can make sure, because the more you get stuck there, your body also starts losing its flexibility. Haven't you seen in olden times, when ladies would just sit and order around the servants or people, ye kar do, wo kar do, and they themselves would keep getting bigger in terms of physical health. They would be suffering from a lot of problems too. Why? Because they were stagnating. Ask yourself, are you allowing yourself to stagnate? Sometimes we don't realize it. How many hours in a day are you spending just sitting? Unless you're working. Now that's different. Unless you're working. But otherwise, if you're not working, how much time are you spending either on the bed, half lying down, or just sitting, or just watching TV? I'm not saying you shouldn't watch TV. But are you regulating yourself that, all right, 2 hours of TV, even then, 2 hours of TV, and then I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. I have seen people just waste away their life because they're stagnating. Because all the energies that it throws up, the consciousness that it throws up is not only of stagnation, it is also of reluctance. The reluctance to move forward, the reluctance to take charge, the reluctance to activate something, the reluctance to come to decisions. The reluctance, I mean, there's so many reluctances you can come up with. Withdrawing from the world. You would have noticed people who are unfortunately going through a depression or otherwise not in a very nice state. They just withdraw. Or a person who's been through a trauma, or there has been an unfortunate passing on of people in the family. The immediate affected member will just not move, just remain so traumatized that they'll be just sitting there doing nothing. Others will come up to them, chai pee lo, ye kar lo, wo kar lo. Hota hai na? That happens. Why? Because suddenly their world has collapsed. The cortex has not given, this energy has gone completely and they are just stuck over there for whatever reasons. Then also, there are some people who refrain from facing the future. Kaise hoga? Kya hoga? How will I do it? What will happen? When will this happen? When can I do this? What if it doesn't work? We have a lot of reasons, a lot of things to think up for not happening. Then also being too laid back, too chilled. Being laid back and chilled is nice. It's a comforting feeling. But if it is over and above the normal, then it is not so nice, because people in the family, people around you at work, otherwise will start getting irritated with you. Okay, why don't you get up? Don't they say, sorry to say, move your ass and work? It's a standard statement nowadays. We don't realize it. So this is literally about moving your ass and doing the work. The work would be also just self-love and looking after yourself. So move your ass and do it. Right? Sorry for my language, but I had to use it to bring out the point. So what will we say? With soul's love, I unlock and avail all that is meant for me. With soul's love, I unlock and avail all that is meant for me. Right? So, as it is, we've crossed our time for today. So these are the spine chakras, the joints that I've talked of today. Next time, I'm going to talk about the shoulders, the arms and everything, and explain to you how it works. So that gradually, and the following time will be the legs. That way all the joints will be covered and your understanding of it. The interest here was that you should understand how healing works. So the healing can only work when you allow yourself to align first physically. And it is not too much of an effort just to be sitting straight, just to hold your back straight, and even holding your bottom straight. Thank you, Bella. Right. So today it is all about the spine. Next week it will be all about these joints of the arms, etc. And the following week it will be about the legs. So I'm going to make sure if there are any particular joints you want to talk about, because remember, here it is shoulders, right here, right? Then there's an elbow joint. Then there's a wrist joint. Then there are also these joints. So these will take a lot of time. So we'll do it turn by turn. And then finally the hip joint and below. Okay? So if you like it, please leave your comments in the Circle of Peaceful Progress. We'd like to know how you like this kind of programs if they are happening, and what else you would like us to talk about in the programs. And now, any questions that you have, if you can ask before we call it a day. Any questions? Oh, sweet. Geeta Arora, you're so sweet to write this. I just read it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, thank you, everyone. I hope you have a good evening. And
Thank you.
see you again next Monday with the next set of joints. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Okay.
you.
All the best. Have a good
Bye.
evening. Bye bye.